So you found it, the perfect home in Spain. You can already picture yourself on that sunny terrace, right? The relaxed lifestyle. But what if that dream has a hidden and very expensive dark side? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a critical issue that every single buyer needs to understand. Just imagine it for a second. You've signed all the papers, you've moved in, and that first big winter rain starts to fall. But it's not just raining outside. It's dripping right through your brand new living room ceiling. That amazing feeling of excitement just curdles into dread. And listen, this isn't just some made-up nightmare scenario. It's a very real risk. Okay, let's dive right into this. To understand how you can protect yourself, we first need to get a real handle on the problem itself. And it all revolves around a specific legal concept in Spain.
The Spanish legal system has a special term for this: vicios ocultos. It literally translates to hidden vices or hidden defects. Now, this isn't about minor stuff like a scuff on the wall or a squeaky door. We are talking about serious, fundamental problems that can completely change the value or even the usability of the home you just bought.
Now, for a problem to legally be considered a vicio occulto, it has to meet three very specific criteria. First, it's got to be hidden. Something you couldn't have possibly spotted during a normal viewing. Second, it has to be serious. We're talking serious enough to affect your ability to actually live in the house, or maybe even its safety. And most importantly, you have to prove it was pre-existing, that it was already there when you bought the place. So what are we actually talking about here in the real world? Well, think about things like deep structural cracks that have just been plastered and painted over, or persistent damp issues that were cleverly hidden behind a fresh coat of paint. Maybe a roof that looks perfectly fine from the ground but is actually on its last legs. Or even worse, things like termites or electrical systems that are a total fire hazard. These are the kinds of expensive, soul-crushing surprises that no new homeowner ever wants to find. All right, understanding the problem is one thing, but navigating the solution? Well, that's where things get really, really tricky. This brings us to the legal side of things. And let me tell you, it is not as straightforward as you might hope. You'd think the law has your back, wouldn't you? And on paper, it does. Spain's civil code allows buyers to claim for damages or even cancel a sale if these hidden defects pop up. But, and this is a really big but, there's a world of difference between having a right and actually being able to enforce it.
Take a good look at this number: 6 months. For a secondhand home, which is most of the properties on the market, you have just 6 months from the day you get the keys to file a legal claim. That is an incredibly, almost impossibly short window to discover a problem, document it, find a lawyer, and launch a full-blown legal action. Some issues, like damp, might not even show up until the seasons change. This really shows the huge gap between what the law promises and the cold, hard reality. The law says you can get justice, sure, but the reality is that the burden of proof is entirely 100% on you, the buyer. You have to prove the defect was there before the sale and that the seller knew about it, which, as you can imagine, is next to impossible. The sad result is that most of these claims just fail outright, or they drag on into these expensive, stressful legal battles that nobody really wins.
So here's the most crucial takeaway from all this. Relying on a legal claim after you've already bought the house is a massive gamble. It should be your absolute last resort, a safety net with some very, very big holes in it, not your primary strategy for protecting your investment. But it's not all doom and gloom, I promise. There is a much, much smarter way to approach this whole thing, one that puts the power right back in your hands, long before you ever sign on that dotted line. So how do you avoid this legal nightmare altogether while still getting that dream home you want? How do you flip this whole situation from one of huge risk into one of total confidence? The answer is prevention, and that means getting a proper, thorough, professional inspection. And I'm not just talking about having a builder buddy take a quick look around. I mean a comprehensive, top-to-bottom deep dive into the building's health, from the foundation all the way up to the roof, from the wiring in the walls to the pipes under the floor. Ultimately, it all comes down to this simple principle. A property viewing is designed to make you fall in love with the home's appearance. An inspection, on the other hand, is designed to give you the cold, hard facts. It allows you to make one of the biggest financial decisions of your entire life based on objective reality, not just how pretty it looks. Okay, so let's pull all this together and talk about the clear, actionable strategy for anyone thinking about buying a home in Spain.
And if you think, oh, this probably only applies to a few old rustic properties, well, think again. Look at this. A staggering 79% of all property sales in Spain are second-hand homes. This isn't some niche little problem. It's a mainstream risk that affects the vast, vast majority of international buyers.
It really just boils down to this single crucial idea. The cost of a good, comprehensive inspection is a tiny, tiny fraction of what a potential repair, or worse, a failed lawsuit, could cost you down the line. It is an investment in certainty. It's an investment in your own peace of mind. It's going to save you not just a boatload of money, but an immense amount of stress.
So, as you're out there searching for that perfect place, just remember this. That spectacular sea view is what's going to capture your heart, no doubt about it. But it's the integrity of what's behind the walls that will protect your investment and make sure your Spanish dream doesn't turn into a total nightmare.